episode of Swami Shivananda Vani. Today we will read about the mother. Mahapurush Maharaj will tell us what renunciation really is. So today, let's start today's chapters. Again, the place is Belur Mutt. Addressing an attendant at Belur Mutt one day, he said, this is Mahapurush Maharaj Ji said, "Well, my boy, the ideal of your life is the master, and he was the emperor of all renouncers. You have taken shelter under him. This you should remember forever. It is very lucky for you that you have found a place in this holy order of his. You must also be conscious of the great responsibility that rests with you. Our days are numbered. Hereafter, people will learn by seeing you. Renunciation is the greatest adornment of a monk's life. One progresses towards God in proportion as one renounces. It is difficult to be a true monk. It won't do merely to perform the Viraja home. Viraja home is the ritual of formal renunciation which the Hindu monk goes through. It is difficult, he says, to be a true monk. It won't do merely to perform this Viraja home in order to take the vows of monasticism and then put on the orchid robe. He indeed is a true monk who has given up from his very heart all kinds of desires. Renounce as much as you can. You will find that the mother will supply you with all your needs at the proper moment to such an extent that you will hardly know what to do with all that. What a lovely thing to say. You should not accumulate. Not only that, a monk should not even have the idea of accumulation. It should all come and pass away like the water flowing under a bridge. But once you start accumulating, the inflow will stop and then the water will stagnate. Besides, you should never ask for anything. Stay where you are, depending fully on him and taking shelter under his feet. The mother will arrange everything for you when the need arises. Just look at the number of articles, sweets, clothes, and other things flowing in here, and that too in so much abundance that I can hardly manage them. That makes me ponder over what the Master has in mind. For we passed through days at Baranagar Monastery when we had only one piece of cloth among us to wear when going out during the daytime. And now I cannot finish with the clothes if I put on a new piece of silk every day. But I tell you, my boy, that by His grace, my mind is even now just what it was in those days. I had no sorrow on account of lack of clothes to put on, nor have I any idea of want. Out of His grace, He vouchsafed me full bliss. Look, for instance, at the soft bed you have arranged for me, but I still remember those days when I used to sleep on straw during the winter in Varanasi. That happiness can hardly be equaled by what I get from these now. One day, the attendant was leaving his room after arranging everything for the ceremony of initiation. But noticing his depart, Mahapurushji said, "You may as well stay on. It makes little difference. For who, in fact, does not know the mantra for initiation? Besides, these mantras have been printed in books. But one thing you should know, my boy, that when that very mantra comes out of the mouth of a perfected guru, it becomes impregnated with a new power. Otherwise, it is nothing but a sound. The guru makes the mantra alive by his own spiritual energy, and he rouses the coiled up energy of the disciple. That's the whole secret of it. The ever perfected souls are, as it were, the living emblems of God. Association with them and service rendered to them carry one to God, but it is most difficult to serve them or live with them. The worship of images is comparatively much easier. It is not possible to serve the great saint in the real sense unless one has one's mind purified through spiritual efforts. And the other thing necessary is absolute earnestness. Should one start serving a saint without being devoted to the fourfold disciplines of Vedanta, one is liable to be guilty of faulty service in that case. One attendant of Mahapurushji once felt himself guilty of failure to serve him in the proper manner, and so asked him, "Sir, when serving you, I make mistakes quite often, which displeases you, and you also express your disapproval. Your words all come true. Whatever comes out of your lips will certainly be fulfilled, and so your displeasure too will certainly bring misery on us. I am in a fix to decide what I should do in such a predicament." Hearing these words, Mahapurushji looked at the attendant silently for a while, his whole face lit up with divine love and compassion. Then he said, with great feeling and in a voice full of affection, "Look here, my boy. The Master came for the good of the world, and we too came with him. We have no other thought but the good of all creatures. We cannot think of any harm to anybody, even in our dreams. Besides, the Master will also see to it that no harm is done to anybody through us. You are living with me, and you are serving me all the time. The Master has entrusted me with your welfare. That's why your faults and failures have to be corrected by me. I scold you, even bitterly at times, for your own good alone. But all that is merely on the surface. At heart, I am all love, affection, and kindness. Otherwise, why should I keep you near me? Know this for certain, that I do everything for your good. At times, I feel it necessary even to be harsh, just for the sake of correcting you, to make the current of your life wholly directed towards God. And I am conscious of what I do and for what purpose. I never do anything out of anger. Such a doubt would not have crossed your mind if only you knew even little of the fervent prayer I make to the Master for your good. Besides, even the anger of God is comparable to a boon. You should remember that our anger also is like a boon. A few months before his paralytic stroke, Mahapurushji expressed a desire to perform the worship of goddess Vasanti in the image at the Belur Mutt. But this was not possible as the time was very short. In connection with that, an attendant said one day, "Sir, since the desire for the worship of Vasanti has arisen in your mind, it will certainly be accomplished." The attendant said so just in the course of ordinary talk, but the word desire startled Mahapurushji, and he said, "Ah, what did you say? Desire? I had a desire. By the Master's grace, I have no desire, not an iota of it." The attendant then realized his mistake, and he corrected himself. "No, sir, I mean when the beneficent wish is felt in your mind." "Yes, that's it," Mahapurushji added. "When a beneficent wish is felt in our minds, everything can be accomplished by God's grace. As a matter of fact, however, I have no existence separately from the Master, nor have I any separate wish. Everything will happen just as He wishes. I was a small, it was a small incident, but it reveals how fully he had sunk his own identity in the Master, how free from egotism he was, and how deeply he relied on the Master. So, on that note, that we too may give up our egotism and rely fully on the Master, rely fully on Sri Ramakrishna or our own Ishta. We stop our reading today. Hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Do stay tuned to Devakshar, like and share our videos, and do subscribe to our channel if you already haven't. Thank you so much for being with us. Namaskar.